So we're going to start today in tabletop. So just finding, so if your knees are hurting, please put something under your knees. Spread out your fingers really wide, almost feeling that if you want to push the palm of your hand down to the floor, but your fingers are pushing back. So lots of strength into the hands. Let's see if we can lighten up a little bit into the heel of the hand. And then your hips underneath your knees, or you can go even a little bit wider if you want to. And then we're going to bring the big toes together. So my spine is neutral. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just 1 or 2 cat and cow, just to arrive in your body. See how it feels. So rounding the spine. And then as you inhale, curving the spine. So for the past 2 days, I had problems with my sciatic. But I remember one movement that was excellent for it, and I felt it snap yesterday evening as I was doing it. But I'm definitely going to give another class on sciatic, because I think that's at one moment in our lives, we all get confronted with that nagging pain running from our butt all the way down to our leg and then coming back to neutral. So press your hands into the floor again, and then really as if you want to push your bum away, but keep your spine very neutral. We're going to bring the heels and the hips close to each other. Elbows are straight. You can look up. You don't have to drop your head. You want to press your hands down. See if you can roll your shoulders slightly back. Push the hips back. So inhale and exhale here, just to feeling that length. Often when we bring the head a little bit more down, so that there is less of a curve in the upper back, we find a little bit more length in the spine. So take a few breaths here. Make it not such a static pose. So see if your breath can really, really help you to make this pose a little bit more active. And then inhale, let's come back up. So spread your fingers a little bit, spread your hands a little bit wider than your mat, and then bring the right foot between your hands. So you can do that by grabbing your right thigh and bringing the foot towards the front, or any other way that works for you. So we did a few cat and cows, placing the left wrist under your left shoulder. We're just gonna open up and then close back. So 3 times like this, open up. See if you can keep your hips stable, your right knee stable. Inhaling, opening up, and exhaling, coming to center. So you're on your left toe. Come onto your fingertips, and then start to lift your back knee. So lengthening the back leg, stay on your toes. Your heel is above your toes. And then can you stretch out the right leg? Maybe yes, maybe no. We want to have the back leg straight. So the front leg can remain a little bit bent, but we want to have the back leg straight. So take a few breaths here. And now bend slightly your left leg, your back leg, and see if you can lengthen the front leg. Maybe you have to walk your hands a little bit more back, come a little bit higher. Inhaling, exhaling. And now bring the left knee down. Place your hands back where they were. And we're going to bring the right knee back. So however you move with your knees front and back, it's really up to you. You can make it a whole gymnastics exercise or just get there. So we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So I like to grab just my thigh so I can swing my left foot forward. And then Strongly pressing into my right hand, lengthening the upper body, and 3 times. Inhaling and exhaling back down. Inhaling and exhaling last time. And then placing both hands again on the floor. Tucking your back toes. So we really want to be on the toes. It's a good stretch for the toes. Starting to lift your back knee. So we're moving a little bit more forward as we want to bring the heel, the back heel above our toes. And then if you can stretch out your front leg. But the most important here is the back leg on the toes, heel above the toes, and then stretching it out. And then slightly bending your back knee, and this time stretching out your front knee. So you might have to really bend your back knee a little bit more, move your hands, whatever works for you. And then from here, we're gonna jump the right foot next to the left, so to the front, and come all the way up. And then coming down. So we're gonna use the wall. Take about a good foot away from the wall with your feet, so with your ankles. Your feet are slightly separated, and then you're gonna place your bum against the wall. So the first thing we wanna do is bring the muscles of your bum down. So your tailbone down, but your legs remain straight in the end. So first of all, come a bit away from the wall, and then really with your hands, push your tailbone down. So really exaggerating. My knees are bent now, and then I'm gonna lengthen my legs. I keep that tailbone going down, and then I'm gonna put myself against the wall. And I forgot to tell you that you needed your chair here, sorry. So if you need to go get your chair, the highest part towards you. Well, it doesn't really matter, but so make sure maybe that you find a proper distance. So let's do this again. So feet about a foot away, bend your knees, tuck your tailbone. So I'm really creating a tilt into my hips. Lengthen your legs. And now I'm gonna bring my lower back onto the floor. And then from here, so pushing the hips, the sacrum into the wall, I'm gonna inhale, lift my arms up, and then continuing to keep that tailbone going down. So it's a little bit more difficult. We still wanna bend from the hip crease, and then place your hands on the back of the chair. So stay with your bum against the wall. Maybe you need to roll it up a little bit again, and then just finding that sacrum, the lower back. See if you can lengthen your spine. I just looked at myself on my computer. It was a big bend plus my hump. So just stare for a moment. And then slowly coming back. So again, this time, place your fingertips against the wall, bend your knees, tuck your tailbone, but this time we're gonna keep the knees bent. So come down, come down. If your knees are past your ankles, that's fine. And then again, inhale, reach the arms up. And then from your hip crease, see if you can push your sacrum into the floor, reaching forward. And then slowly coming up. So we're using our abdominals to come up and then come back up. The next one is a little bit more challenging. So again, find that position with your feet, and we're gonna bend the right knee and then take your right ankle and you're gonna place the sole of your right foot against the wall, as close as possible to your right bum. So again, tuck your tailbone from here and then start to bend your left knee a little bit. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, press your sacrum into the floor. I know this one is a little bit more challenging. So maybe you reach a chair, maybe not, but we want to continue pressing that tailbone back. And then see if you can lengthen it. You can have the chair a little bit closer if that's easier. So really, eventually my two thighs are at the same height. I'm rolling my tailbone down. And then from here, keep your hands onto the chair, lengthen the left leg that we had bent. Keep your right foot against the floor, against the wall, and then come back here. Maybe it dropped, so lift the right foot a little bit higher. And then from here, we're going to start to open. So you can separate your hands. I'll do it from this side so you can see what happens. I know this is all new things. So, so my left foot about a foot away from the wall, my right foot flat against the wall and hopefully touching my bum. I'm going to open my arms more for balance. So wherever works for you. And then strong left leg and start to open your right hip and your right knee. So if you're very flexible in the hips, your right knee might touch the back wall, but I want to continue pushing my sacrum into the wall. So my shoulder blades are against the wall, my arms are against the wall, I'm rolling my shoulders back and then coming back to center and press yourself off. So now we're going to bend the left knee, place the left foot against the wall. Again, have your chair in front of you, so I'll show it from this side. So lift with your hand, you can lift your ankle a little bit higher, press your foot into the wall. Press your sacrum, so that bony part above your tailbone, press that into the wall. Take a breath in, lengthen out. And if this is already enough for you, you just stay there. Otherwise, with the length, trying to keep the sacrum against the wall. It's not going to stay fully against the wall because you're folding from your hip crease, eventually placing your hands down. And then again, see if you can tilt just a little bit into your hips. Two more breaths. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper, maybe not. And then slowly coming up, just moving the chair out of the way. Inhaling and then exhaling, placing the palms against the wall. So you're going to have to see if you need to lift your foot. I realized I forgot to do something, but it's okay. So from here, see if you can open your left knee, open your left hip. So I'm coming on the outside of my left foot, but I don't want my right hip to lift. So I'm going to keep pushing my right bum against the wall, opening up. So it's possible this reminds you of what we do when we're on the floor, when we open the leg to the side and we want to make sure our hips remain balanced. And then coming back and let's release. So this was the new and crazy move of the day. It's new, it's exploration. So now come again, close to the wall, but a little bit further this time because it's really going to depend. You might have to adjust. And then we're going to put our hands against the wall and then glide alongside the wall. If it's a stony wall like here, you might want to just push yourself off and then see, I'm not sitting on the floor. So if your knees are not that flexible, again, you can always put something in between your knees. So I want to adjust. I'm going to place my hands a little bit more to the front. I'm going to bring my feet a little bit more to the back. So I can again first feel the sacrum against the wall. And then inhale, reaching up. So this should be, it's almost like a squat, except we don't do a hip opener here. But we really want to feel, we push the sacrum against the wall and then see, can you lengthen your arms a little bit more? Can you find that length into the waist? And then exhale, release the hands, place them on the floor and lengthen the left and the right leg. So we're going to stay close to the wall. But you want to make sure that your sacrum is against the wall. So if you have a ledge or something, maybe place a blanket. If the ledge is very thick, maybe place a blanket on your spine at the height of where, so that it's one line. So my feet are very active. I'm going to roll my shoulders back. Shoulder blades are against the wall. My sacrum is against the wall. So adjust your stand. And then inhale, reach your arms up. So again, we're going to use the wall to guide us. Inhale, reach up. So if this was a live class, I would probably come and pull on your elbows first to make sure they're straight, and then pull on your wrist to lift yourself up. Press your hips down, push your sacrum into the floor. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale and then exhale. Don't collapse. Place your right hand under your right knee and bring the right knee in, and then the right foot on the inside of your left leg. So if it's floating, see if you can grab something to put underneath. So again, if you need to readjust for some reason, we always like find a way to glide away from the wall. Left leg, very active. And we're gonna find that length again. If your knee is hurting when you do this, like I said, put something underneath, or eventually just put your leg diagonally. Stretch it out. Inhale, lengthening. Lengthening. So I'm really pushing my hips down and lifting my fingertips up. And now press your sacrum into the wall. So again, I got a little bit away. Inhale, and then see if you can reach somewhere, your toes, your ankle, and then lengthen. So as I'm reaching, I'm automatically gonna round my spine. So can I roll the shoulders back and come into a longer position? Inhale, exhaling. So I still have that contact with the wall. If you lose it, you probably have to come back, push yourself a little bit closer to the wall. Inhale, exhale. And then reach up again. Use your abdominals, reaching up. And exhale, bring the hands to the side. Right hand be on the outside of the right knee. Lengthen your right leg. Bend your left knee. And open the left knee towards the left. So again, take your time to readjust so you're straight against the wall. Let's inhale, feel, adjust, and then next inhale, reach your arms up. So as you do this, you should really feel your whole body lifting up, your chest lifting up, your shoulder blades rolling down, reaching up. Right foot is flexed, left leg is quite relaxed here. So see if you can make that difference between the two. And then inhale one more time, and then exhale, reaching forward, wherever. And then once you grab something, roll the shoulders back. Maybe you need to adjust where you're holding. One side can be very different than the other. Inhale, lengthening, exhaling. And then inhaling back up, exhaling, hands to the side, and this time left hand on the outside of your left knee, and bring the knee back to center and release. Okay, so if now you need to sit on something, we're gonna do Baddha Konasana, where you bring the soles of your feet together. So sometimes it's just easier to get there when you're sitting on something. So I'll just show you. You can take a pillow or a blanket and put it very close to the wall. And then again, that's not why we're gonna glide away from the wall. So come here, bring the soles of the feet together. Again, adjust your seat. Place your hands onto your knees. Roll the shoulders back, elbows back. And now press the heels of your feet together and see if at the same time you can bring the knees a little bit lower as you're pressing from your hips towards your knees. So I'm creating space in my thighs and I'm pressing my heels together. I'm keeping my spine against the wall or the natural curves of my spine, touching the wall. Inhale and exhale. Can you lengthen up? Can you roll the shoulders back a little bit more? Like really observe. I know this is all new, so we're at step 1. And as we do this more and more, and maybe you discover, oh, this is really good for me. So I can gently start to press with my hands onto my thighs to maybe relax in the hips and lower my knees a little bit more. You don't want to force, you don't want to feel anything in your knees. 2 more breaths here. And then release, place the hands on the outside of the knees and with your hands, really important, bring the knees together. Hug your knees, bring your chin to your chest and drop your head. Take a few breaths here. We didn't do any back bends, but you might feel something in your spine. And then release. So now we're going to take the strap. So take your strap and just put it aside for the moment. And this time we're going to face the wall. If you have the space, separate your legs. So you know the movement that we do very often with the legs widely spread. It's the same thing, but with the response from the wall. So if you need to sit on something higher or softer, now you will notice that if you press your feet against the wall, there's going to be like a little bend into your ankles. So just be very mindful about that. And then if you want to go closer to the wall, of course you go closer, but make sure you're close enough so that you can really press your feet into the wall. So maybe you need to come a little bit closer to the wall or a little bit further. And then from here, place the hands in the back, fingertips pointing back. Roll the shoulders back and see if you can find some length. Press your feet into the wall. So if you need to bring the feet closer to each other or further from each other, do so. And then if you want, you can start to press, to come forward with your upper body, bending from the hip crease. If you want, because we have the wall, you can place your hands onto the wall. If we had something to hold on, that would be great. So roll the shoulders back, lengthen your spine. Now you're probably gonna feel it in your legs and maybe not so much on the inside this time. Maybe you're gonna feel it more in the back of the legs, the side of the legs, very different sensations. If your hands are at the front, walk your hands up. And this time, fingers are spread. Imagine you're in a wide-legged dog. So we're doing exactly the same, but against the wall. Downward dog, no weight onto the wrists. Lengthen your spine. So lift your chest up. This is going to help you lifting the chest up. Roll the shoulders back. Press your hands into the wall. And then slowly walking the hands down and bringing the feet together. So we'll move on the floor in a minute, but before we do, we're gonna do a twist with the use of the wall. So sit against the wall with your right hip, bend your knees. So make sure your feet are solidly planted onto the floor. And now reach your right arm up. Turn the palm towards the wall. I'm holding onto my knees with my left arm. Roll the right shoulder back, shoulder blade down. And then start to glide your back hand, your right hand back. But at the same time, you're going to lengthen into your upper body and start to twist your upper body towards the wall. So the whole movement is not coming from your shoulder. Your right shoulder is almost in line with your chest. So press into your right hand, into the wall. My hand is now at the height of my shoulder, so that's going to depend for how you feel. If your knees and your feet are stable, you can extend your left hand and then press a little bit further with your right hand and rotate. You can look to your right hand and then grab your knees again with your left, walk your right hand up to the sky and come back to center. Another possibility, if you feel that your knees and your feet are not very stable, you make a loop with your strap and you put it around your calf muscles or just below your knee or above your knee. So let's go to the other side. So turn around, feet together, knees together. Your feet don't have to be against the wall, but your hip is against the wall. Hold on to your knees with your right arm. Lift your left up, turn the palm towards the wall. So before I start, I'm going to roll my shoulders back. I'm going to lengthen my spine. I'm going to bring the shoulder blade even more down. And then walking your left arm back as I'm twisting with my upper body. So the twist is really in the upper spine here. Keeping your knees in place. And then if you want, extending the right arm. Press your left hand into the wall, but not moving your left shoulder forward. So keep that shoulder rolling back. Inhale, exhale. You can also stretch out your legs if that gives you more stability, but often we're going to fall back then. So inhale, lengthening, exhale, twist. And then hold on to your knees again. Reach your left arm up and exhale, come here. So now we're going to use the wall and the strap. This one should be known territory for most of you. So placing the toes against the wall, I'm going to come on my back. And then I'm going to see if I can press my whole foot into the wall. Maybe you need to glide back a little bit. Maybe you're losing half of your clothes as you do this. Sometimes that happens. But I really want to feel that I'm pushing my heels into the wall. And then just lift your head up and see, are the outside of my feet parallel to each other? So it's a little bit the same as Tadasana. So if for you, Tadasana is with the feet slightly separated, separate your feet. So pressing down. Because you glided back, your tailbone should be really pointing towards your toes here. And then we're going to press the left leg really hard into the floor. Bend your right knee. See if you can relax in the groin as you bring that right knee towards your chest. So really relaxing into the groin. You might shake it out a bit. And then take your strap, place it around your right foot. So when we do this, we place a strap around the ball mount of the foot. If there is another comfortable, you don't want to place it in the arch. Some people like to place it around their ankle. For some, this is comfortable and stable. This I find the most stable. So press your left foot into the wall. As you do this, your tailbone is going to remain in position. Your hips are in position. So if your hamstrings are stiff, bring the leg a little bit lower. You want your leg to be long. So press your hips into the floor, your tailbone, your sacrum, and relax your elbows. If you have a short strap, then you're going to take the strap as high as possible so that your arms are straight, but your shoulders on the floor. So it's either one. It's or straight arms, shoulders on the floor, or bent elbows on the floor and shoulders on the floor. So bent elbows. So let's take a few breaths in. Inhale, press your left heel into the wall. And the bottom of your toe is also pressing. You're really as if you're in Tadasana. Press your right heel up and your right hip down. The back of your knee is going away from you. Except if you have hypermobility, then you want to be aware that you're not going over 180 degrees with your leg. So I'm really using the strap to almost create resistance in my right leg, and the resistance and the answer also comes from the wall in my left leg. Now take the strap into your right hand. Place your left hand onto your hip. So the same thing as we done before when we were against the wall with a bent knee. Lengthen to start and then start to slowly open up towards the right. So you want to open, your foot is not moving forward or back. So you're at the same height as you were, heel and hip are just moving to the side. So open up. If you have a wall that's in the way, no problem. Then you have two answers. You push your left foot into the wall. And then if there is a wall on your right foot, you push that also, you push your right foot also into the wall. Otherwise, you just open up and you see where you reach. So lots of things are working here. Take your deep breath in. There's absolutely not a lot of relaxation. I wasn't going to say no relaxation, but not a lot of relaxation. So there is a lot of things to do. Pressing the heel, the left leg, the right leg, the chest is open, the shoulders should be relaxed. Your breath is relaxed, your face is relaxed. So if you suffer from sciatica, this is a very, very good move. So just the whole work with the strap and the legs, it's really feeling until you feel a pop, and then you should be fine. And then inhaling, coming back. Take the strap into your left hand. Open the right arm to the side. You can turn the palm down or up, whatever works best. And then very slowly, this time, you just want to keep the left heel onto the floor. Your left toes onto the wall, sorry. Your left toes are turning out together with your right leg, turning out towards the left. Keep the shoulders onto the floor. So your left foot is going to keep you more or less connected in line. Inhale, exhale. Feel now the twist fully in the belly. When we were against the wall to do the twist, we were fully in the upper spine. The middle spine is a really hard place to reach for twists. And then inhale, coming back to center. Take the strap off, keep your legs straight. And then slowly start to bend your knee, bring your knee back towards your chest. Press your left foot into the floor. Relax. Lift your head up. Left hand grabs the outside of the right foot. Push your knee a little bit out, your right knee. So push it away on the side of your body. So it's not going to your chest, but it's going to the right side. So we are changing the position of the femur into the hip socket. Place your head back down. And then start to bring your right foot in with your left hand. Your right hand, you can gently press on the inside of your right knee as to open up the hip a little bit more. So when you found a space where you have like, oh, I didn't know I could go that far, then your right hand can go on the outside of your knee again and then see if you can bring the lower leg closer towards your chest. Very similar to pigeon pose. So eventually in pigeon pose, the lower leg and the upper leg will be perpendicular, and then you will be able to bring that all in. So that's hip work and careful for the knee. So I can use the power that I want here. And as I'm breathing and I'm exploring my hip joints, maybe I can find a little bit more space. And then slowly release the right foot, bring the knee and the foot back in line with the shoulder, and exhale, lengthen out the right leg. So I'm going to move again a little bit closer to the wall. I'm going to place my feet against the wall. My knees are bent, and then press into the wall with your whole foot, tailbone going towards your toes. So same thing. Bring the left knee into the wall, press the right foot into the, bring the left knee into the chest, sorry, press the right foot into the wall. So again, move a little bit with that left leg so that you feel that the groin is relaxed. Like sometimes we feel there is a lot of tension in our groin. And then take the strap, place it around your left foot, lift up, press your left heel up, push your right hip down. Lengthen that whole left leg. Position your arms so you don't create strain on your shoulders, on your neck, on your head, and then press the right foot into the wall. So the right leg is actually working quite a lot. Lengthening the left leg. So feel as if you're creating space between the heel and the hip. Push your left hip down. And then taking the strap into the left arm, into the left hand, wow. And right hand on the right hip bone. And then slowly start to open up, press your right heel into the wall. This is gonna avoid you from twisting too much into the hip. So your hip remains stable. So again, if you have a wall here on your left side, press your left foot into the wall. If you don't, that's okay. Then you're just working with pushing the heel away, pushing the hips down, pushing the right heel into the floor, into the wall. And then slowly coming back to center. Take the strap into the right hand, open up the left, palm up, palm down, left arm, and then push your right heel into the wall, but allow your toes to rotate towards the right together with your left leg going towards the right. So again, if you have a wall here, don't hesitate to push, to use it. Keep your shoulders on the floor, so we're rotating in the lower back. Take another deep breath in, and then slowly coming back to center. You reposition your right foot so that the toes are pointing up, you're against the wall, and then let go of the strap without bending the knee. Start now to bend your knee, lift your head, lift your shoulders, grab your left foot with your right hand. So I'm wrapping my hand around. I'm placing my left hand onto my knee, and I'm gonna move my knee a little bit outwards of my body, placing the head back down, the shoulders back down, and then left hand on the inside of the knee. Gently, don't push. It's the hip that we're trying to move, not the knee. So it's the hip that's going to give us the opening. And then you can place your hand again on the outside. Taking a few breaths here, continue pressing that right foot into the wall. And then slowly release. Bring the knee, the foot, and the hip back in line. And then lengthen out your left leg. So I want to give you the option for a different Shavasana today. So a little bit longer. So if you want to change after, you can always do so. If you're comfortable with the wall, and if your wall is nice, you can use the wall. if you prefer with the chair, I'll show it to you in a minute. So if you're going to use the wall, start by sitting as close as possible to the wall and on the edge of your mat. So not on the back edge, but on the front edge. Placing the hands in the back, and then bend your elbows and come back. And then we're going to rotate on our tailbone and lift your legs up. So you want to have your legs straight, but not tense. So if your hamstrings are tight and you feel here that there is stretching happening, then you wiggle yourself back. It's easy to wiggle yourself back. It's not easy to wiggle yourself forward. If you feel that you have to hold too much to keep your legs together, again, you can take the strap, wrap it around your lower legs, and then no worry about it anymore. If you feel that your head in this position is really coming back, first of all, see if it helps with bring the skin of the skull a little bit more to the back. If not, put a towel, a blanket, or a pillow underneath. So that's, and then just Shavasana arms. If you're like, no, I don't want that wall anymore, then you take your chair and basically you do the same thing. You just want to make sure that when you're lying down, so my lower legs are on the chair and the crease in the back of my knees is really at the edge of the chair. And then my knees are not above my hips. So there's like a slide from my knees towards my hips. If you're like floating in the air because your chair is too high, place something underneath your back so that you're a little bit higher. And then from here, again, see if you can tilt your tailbone towards your feet. And then come here, and then arms in Shavasana. And of course, if you prefer the regular Shavasana, then that's what you do. So allow your body to arrive in the position that you chose. If it's really uncomfortable, then you're going back into a regular Shavasana. But if you need to come out of wherever you are, always roll onto your right side. Don't just jump out. So taking a few deep breaths here. And long breaths out. Allowing your body to sink in. So if you feel tired or stressed, or even if you can't sleep in the middle of the night, bring the legs higher than the heart is first of all calming the body, and then it will calm the mind. The mind cannot calm down if the body is agitated. So excellent, excellent pose. So I invite you to stay here as long as you can, you want, you need, or you wish. If you need to get out, first bring your knees towards your chest, whichever position you are, and then roll over to your right side. Stay there for 2-3 breaths. And then come into comfortable seated position. You don't have to come here, you can just stay where you are. Bring your hands in front of your heart. So don't drop your head, just lower your chin a little bit. Thank you so much for sharing your practice, for being present for yourself. And I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.